past the tissues, Ross. An emotional moment there. Taj Burrow announcing his retirement just yesterday morning, but we still get to watch him in a couple more CT events up against Nat Young here in Heat 4 of round 3.
Yeah, it's in a lot of ways it is sad because, you know, when you're competing at this level on the World Surf League, the best thing about it is you get to see your favorite surfers on screen all the time. They're right there as we see Nat go through the motions here. 6.5, so an okay start for him. Wow, nice little tail release there to finish. But the cool thing is, you know, for Taj, even though we kind of heard him joking about himself, saying every now and then I'll catch myself looking a little bit older on a wave.
And it's been affecting his performances. So looking loosened up in the first round, and we'll see if it helps him here against Nat Young, who got off to a great start and is now potentially putting away an excellent score for just 2 big moves on the outside. Here goes Burrow. And he just bogs down on that first move. He's going to get out of there. Almost intentionally bogging down maybe. Well, with 24 minutes remaining, Taj Burrow is going to be chasing down Nat Young, who got off to a good start. A 6.5 on his first wave. Just a medium-sized ride. His second ride was bigger, but only provided 2 sections. And he made good use of them for a 7. And let's take another look at Nat's 7.
Well, I like his entry. You know, he was really early on that wave, and he was able to kind of dictate speed the way he wanted to on his own terms. So, again, what made that wave unique and allowed the judges to break into that 7 is he had the nice snap, which you've seen a lot of those rail types of surfing, but his second maneuver was sharp and it was right on the lip. And that just looked a little different, and again, allowed them to break above that 6.
Wigging out at all?
Not at all, unless it was in the dying minutes. You know, at this stage of the heat, it's early days. He's got a lot of time.
Well, Nat picks off another ride. Under priority. Trying to better a 6.5. Smashing through the lip a couple of times. And Taj Burrow looking for his best ride. Nice hit there. Bashes it again, so keeping that down the line flow. And still just squeezing in the moves, and he does ride out of that last maneuver, and he's going to get into that little inside keyhole there. He's only surfed it a couple of times, twice maybe, free surfing. So the majority of his experience in this lineup, surf with the jersey on.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So even though he is local boy, you'd say all that advantage, he's actually up the coast and surfing a lot of different waves. This wave here in particular is a fast one. Really moved down the line, so you saw those types of moves, trying to catch up with the face of the wave, but no mistakes. You know, he did pin the lip a couple times. He's definitely going to get back in the heat. A little more torque though in these turns right here from Nat. Such a powerhouse. And that second turn, really wide arc, and then there's a little 12 o'clock hammer to finish off the wave. So it really does feel like Nat is maintaining that lead right now.
And I have 2 now, and it's just nice to have somebody in my corner who has that same experience, that, you know, we can come to a good agreement on the right equipment and go out there and make decisive choices.
And then obviously, you know, having a great game plan before the heat is obviously important, but then actually executing that. I mean, how great is it to go in a heat and actually do exactly what you intended to do on the sand?
Yeah, that was good fun. Like those round 3 heats, you know, they're the toughest round of the event, I think, pretty much every time. Had a lot of matchups with Miguel, and I knew I just needed to be hungry out there and find my opportunities, and I think I kind of got under him a little bit through the first quarter of that heat, and it kind of set up the back half of my heat really well, and was able to solidify kind of my position and enjoy the waves out there. The heat before had a fair few waves, and the first heat of the day had nothing, so I was like, oh, I thought we might have a bit of a slow heat, so I got that quick start, but we ended up getting kind of rewarded in the back half of that heat, so it was fun.
Between Julian and Jake in the lead up to that heat, but agreeing on a game plan. You know, Julian taking on what Jake says, also using his own experience, and during that interview, Nat Young just going bonkers on the backhand.
That's, I mean, he absolutely killed that wave. 3 big moves. Whoa! We didn't see that. We didn't catch that. That was a wild exit there. We did see him hop on a ski, though. He didn't look like he was fumbling with any broken toes or fins. So it looks like he got away with it, but that was radical. But wow, I think we had a really good exchange here. Right when I was kind of in my head thinking, wow, this is a good night for Taj, he came back with a really nice ride of his own. Different style surfing. I mean, you know, with Nat Young, it's a violent backhand whip. Taj, a little longer arc, but he did mix it up, Ronnie, with that kind of a lean back drop wallet in the second turn. Very cool. Right here, kind of an extended bottom turn, keeping that body open. This is his very first turn, so he's not trying to push 100%. He's trying to really put a lot more weight into this turn, so slightly lower on that bottom turn. That was smart. You saw him kind of hop over because he was a little too late. He had to get just that extra 2 feet out into the edge. So very crafty, great reflexes from Taj. You know, that's those little nuances at the bottom that will enable you to hit the lip if you're too early or too late. And then actually Taj rips into a third turn. Now that the wave's smaller, he's going to be able to push on the fins a little more. There's the release. So I really like the variety here, Ronnie.
Great variety. 8.5 was the score. Nat Young just getting the edge on Taj in that exchange. He got a 9-point ride.
And I agree. You know, I thought Nat had the edge there. Just a lot more power. The power out here on a windy day on these big open canvas types of waves, it's going to win the hearts over for the judges. So just a little nod there.
Repetitive flow into those verts, but the repetition is sometimes forgotten when the turns are so strong.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's not like he has a lot on the menu right here. This is not a section where you're going to go for an air or a tail slide. You know, with this wind and this wave, that's what's going on right here on your backhand. Just a nice power hook. This one's even better. He's going to get a little steeper section to work with. That is money right there. And so he really pushed on the tail. He pushed so hard that he actually slid the fins just for half a second. So, you know, he has a great job of doing power and speed.
Taj getting barreled at the moment, and he just butchers the exit. Nat Young left out the back and paddling into a pretty clean looking wall. But he's going to opt to kick out here and try and get priority back. Interesting, after the last exchange, Taj Burrow was on the inside. He paddled out. Nat went round on the ski.
And then if you really push it, you can get low to your board and kind of do that tail blast.
Well, Nat Young taking off, looking left in the tube and finding the exit. And this wave might give him another big section here on the inside. Starting to stand up, and he drives up under the lip. Let's go of a nice big drawn out swoop. Cutting back once again. Sometimes you find more on the inside. That wave's not going to do it. Nat just trying to get to the ski. 11 minutes to go. And so far, this busy approach from Nat Young has paid off. A 7 and a 9. We'll see how this tube scores.
Well, tucked in straight away, so I like that. That's pretty technical. You know, he didn't backdoor. He didn't kind of have all that time to read it, casually pull in. He tucked in straight from the takeoff. So, you know, that was pretty cool. I love that carve. Nice upper body work there from Nat. Kind of twisted into that thing. So there's a variety again that's on offer on your forehand. It's easy to mix up. It might just be better than his 7. It's kind of right there. So this is pretty big. I mean, this is starting to sink in a little bit. Taj is nowhere near out of this heat. You know, at a 7.9, it's not over, but man, 6.5 minutes left. Are we seeing Taj in his last heat at Margaret River? And we're going to see the goofy footer and how he's got there. Big scores here, Ronnie. 6.93, but the 9 right there, so strong. He literally kicked the teeth in. I just love how he puts a lot of power into that backhand snap. He doesn't just place his board there. He really kicks it in. And Taj, I think he did so well, Ronnie, with this 8.5. He easily could have surfed this thing into a 7, but because he was just so fluid and creative, he really maxed out that score. And then the odd barrel on the left-hander.
Well, Nat almost beating Taj at his own game by eyeing off the left. I think Taj is always keeping his left eye on the left when he's paddling into waves, looking for scoring opportunity. Nat discovered some on that ride, and Taj was watching on from out the back. 5.5 minutes to go, and Burrow still after that 7.91, and joined the tour in 98. Finished 12th that season. Here we go, Nat Young. looking to increase his lead over Burrow now. Just on today in the third round. A smaller wave, but some really big turns.
Whoa, that was better surfing than he did on the 9. So that's going to be right there again. He might put Taj in a combo situation after that score drops. This is just crazy surfing here from Nat. Always steady on his backhand, but he's got a little extra spark right now. That board looking really nice and fast. Right there, that last turn, such a crack of the whip. And again, he has that crack of the whip that all the goofies have, Ronnie, but he does it with a lot of weight, doesn't he?
You feel it as he drives up into the lip on that first turn. And just watch the subtle differences in the approach here. Nat eyeing down the line here already, but always pulls his board through those sections with a lot of speed.
He has such functional movement with his body, too. A lot of times we talk about Mick Fanning with how efficient he is with his body, but look at Nat. You know, the way he bottom turns, he kind of has that X-factor twist that now enables him to torque out of it.
More carve on the first turn, more vertical on the second, and this maneuver, mixing it up again, getting vertical, but there's that slide across the lip that Nat does so well. Great control, and dropped out of the lip.
Did you see that X-factor, I like to call it, that twist, where his upper body and his lower body are actually twisted against each other, so when he does unwind, he's got so much coil that creates that snap, that power.
It was a good instructional for backside surfing right there. Nat Young just putting away his best number, a 9.1, and Taj Burrow now chasing a 9.6, and there's just over a minute remaining. And I'd say he'd definitely take up the opportunity, because it's a good opportunity for him to come and hang out with his mates, obviously, but he's always been so competitive. But Nat Young's going to get the better of Taj here in the third round. 5 seconds remaining, and Nat with one of the strongest heat score totals of the event, the second best, in fact, 18.1. A couple of 9-point rides for the Californian, and Burrow, he will be out of the event for 2016.